How to defeat the King of Puppets. King of Puppets, Phase 1. The King of Puppets is a powerful, weaponized marionette with 2 pairs of arms, regular and a second set made of flexible tubes. Beware of attacks executed with the regular arms. A single swing starting from its left side and a double swing where it strikes from the right. An ideal attack to easily evade or counter with a perfect parry is the spinning strike. The King of Puppets winds up, then spins and attempts to crush you with its hand, repeating the attack after a moment. Between the first and second strike, you can land 1 heavy weapon strike and 3 lighter weapon strikes. If the boss doesn't move back on its own, step back to a safe distance and wait for it to perform this attack again. Try not to stay within its reach, as the arm attacks are a bit more challenging to dodge. When you're too far, the King of Puppets might close the gap by leaning on its arms and lunging towards you. If it's too close, step back slightly and wait for the spinning attack. Another attack by the King of Puppets is the vacuum attack. It leans forward and starts sucking in air through the fan on its chest.
When you see this attack, move back to a safe distance because the area around it will explode after a moment.
The King of Puppets can also perform a tornado attack. It starts spinning around its own axis and flailing its arms. You can dash inside and confidently land a few attacks. However, if you don't manage to do so, quickly retreat as far as possible.
Similar to the vacuum attack, the area around it will explode after a moment, excluding the area near the boss.
When you've depleted about 40 of the boss's health, it will let out a battle cry, entering a frenzy and executing a series of attacks in front of it. Keep an eye on the King's health bar and step away when you hear the cry. After the cry, the King of Puppets will prop itself up on its arms and leap towards you. It will also gain a few new attacks. Try to block them or evade by jumping forward. They have a longer range, but often miss the area beside the boss. When you're up close, land a few strikes and then retreat to a safe distance, repeating the process and waiting for the spinning strike. In addition to the new swings, the boss can perform 1 more attack, explosive projectiles. The king shoots several projectiles around itself, creating a minefield. After a few moments, they'll explode, dealing damage. You can approach the king and attack during this move, but be cautious of the mines left behind. Romeo, King of Puppets, Phase 2. Once you've depleted the boss's entire health bar, it will transition into its second phase. It turns out that inside the machine lies the real King of Puppets, Romeo, who is now ready to continue the fight. Romeo is much stronger and faster than the previous phase of the boss. He wields a scythe, and his attacks deal significant damage. If you feel confident, you can try to fight using a perfect guard to parry his attacks. Otherwise, maintain a safe distance, and when he executes a series of attacks, counter with 1-2 strikes, then wait for the next series. Disrupting his balance will also allow you to deal damage. Keeping Romeo at a distance will prompt him to perform distance, closing moves. They are quite easy to avoid, and after executing them, he needs a moment to recover. After one of the lunges, he might perform a fury attack, lifting his body on the embedded scythe and striking with a kick. When you see him preparing for this, step back, then return and deliver additional strikes. The second fury attack is a high leap, followed by a charge towards you. During this attack, Romeo hangs in the air for a moment, allowing you to timely evade or retreat, then return and strike. Romeo can also execute a series of regular charges, culminating in a powerful sweeping attack. Here, it's enough to timely dodge the attack, this time by leaping towards him to avoid getting hit from behind. The most challenging is the series of attacks during which Romeo infuses his scythe with fiery reinforcement. It's an extremely long sequence of strikes that are almost impossible to dodge. As soon as you see him sharpening his weapon, immediately heal yourself to full health. The best solution would be to perfect guard and parry this series of attacks, but you can also try to evade occasionally. Romeo will perform this attack the first time when you bring his health down to about half. From this point on, try to defeat him as quickly as possible, not missing any opportunity to attack to prevent him from using the sequence again.
Incredible! You defeated the king! I gotta think the puppets will have changed too, right? There's only one way to find out. Let's go backstage.